drop my camera here. Of course that's how that works. Am I still working here? Let's see. Alright, so let's plug in the power. Plug in the screen, plug in. How old is this machine?
Like a year, I think.
Did you put it together?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see here. Do you know what kind of drive you're booting off? I don't see it. Is it a tucked away drive?
Yeah, I think it's on the other side. It's kind of.
Yeah, it's one of those SATA drives.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's fire it up. See what it does. There, we got a display. The BIOS is displaying. Yeah, that's pretty much your hard drive.
Okay.
So that tells me that. Let's just see what you have back there. And it just, is it restarting on me? Is that what that's doing?
Yeah, it might be.
Got it. It just turned itself off. Is it going to restart or did it just turn off?
It might have just turned off.
Is that how that behaves all the time?
No, that's probably the first time it's done that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see. Okay, so let's turn it on again and see what it does. You say this machine is only a year old?
Yeah.
All right. I'm guessing it's older because it's got a DVI and VGA. Oh, it's booting now.
Oh well, it was my friend's. Like he gave me
So it's
some of his old parts. So
yeah. This motherboard looks like it's several years old.
Yeah.
I don't suppose you have the budget to replace the machine or replace the motherboard. Is that something you might be willing to do?
I guess it depends on how much.
I mean, well, labor. What you're in for right now? If we just swap out the drive, it's $100 labor plus the drive is also about $100 for a terabyte drive. If you want to get that size, you can get bigger if you want.
Yeah, I have an extra drive.
Okay. What do you mean you have an extra one? You have a drive just laying around?
Yeah, I actually brought it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So we already know that thing works?
Yes, I'm pretty sure this works because it's new and I haven't used it.
Well, okay. That helps out. Let me see it. Got it. So do you know if that's basically what you already have installed?
I think for one of them it's pretty much like that, and the other one, I think it's the slower one. It's like the bigger one.
Okay, I see a silver. It's probably a Crucial drive then. That's yours.
Yeah.
Do you have Windows? You probably have Windows 10 on this because this hardware doesn't look new enough to take 11.
Yeah, I think it's only 10.
Got it. So yeah, you have a mechanical drive and you're probably booting off of this Crucial drive here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's turn it off. So pretty much all we have to do, it's $100 labor to do the work.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So put Windows 10 on here. Got it. Do you have data you're worried about?
No, it can all be erased.
Okay, so we could, for all intents and purposes, throw that drive out.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, cool. Now, did you want to go run an errand for a couple hours and come back?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's just do that.
You guys are open?
Yeah, I'll be here for another couple hours. I'll
Okay.
finish this off before I leave anywhere.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, let me just get your information.
Yeah.
Well, I probably already have it. Let me see what number you call me on. Let's see here. What's your name?
Dustin.
Dustin. Oh, I got two people coming over. That's why I got you mixed up with someone else. What number did you call me off of?
530
hold on.
320.
Hold on, just what were the last four?
5929.
5929. That's weird. What time did you call me? Yeah, what time did you
I
call
called
me?
you at 4.
Oh, those are all texts. Hold on. That's why. Yeah, got it.
Okay, cool.
Got it. I'm staring at all the texts.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so I can call you back as soon as this is ready.
Okay, yeah.
So
perfect.
yeah, just head over in a couple hours,
All right, sounds
or
good.
call me sooner if you want. But yeah,
All
so
right.
I'll install Windows 10 on here. And you just
Okay.
want your username to be Dustin?
Yeah, sure. That's
Okay,
fine.
cool. Then
Cool.
we're good.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Alrighty. Okay. There we are. So, we essentially got an error. Let's plug this in here. The drive error we got is, let's just see what the error is. If you do this long enough, you just tend to recognize the problems. Even if the error is sort of cryptic, it doesn't tell you exactly what's going on. Let's see here. I want to fire this up one more time. Please wait. That's from it being rebooted so many times. It's going to give us an error message that says, give this information to your tech support representative. Kernel auto boot lock acquisition with raised IRQL. It's a bad hard drive. Alrighty. Unplug it. Plug the replacement drive in. He's got a apparently new to him Samsung solid state drive. It is an Evo 860. There we are. Last year's technology, but still very valid. It's a lot faster than an old mechanical drive. He also does have a mechanical drive in there. So, for safety's sake, I'm actually going to unplug that mechanical drive just to make sure I don't accidentally delete any partitions. I'm going to plug in this replacement drive. Before I even put it in the caddy, I'm just going to plug in the power. And the data. And I've been moving stuff around today. What did I do with my copy of Windows? Ah, there it is. I dropped it on the floor. All right, so let's turn this thing on and see what it does. Oh, of course, me being so safe, I unplugged it. There. Turn that on. Let's see how we go here. Okay, so without a drive that has anything but Windows on it, it's going to be forced. Hey, look. Okay, that glitch, that already tells me the bootloader is working. That's what happens to Dell BIOSes all the time. The screen, the BIOS logo gets all vertical and horizontal torn, and that's the USB stick being read. I don't know if it's just an underwhelming video driver, but I can tell you with confidence, here comes our Windows boot. So that we've got a copy of Windows 10 sitting on a USB stick. That gibberish, which is essentially all sorts of horizontal and vertical tearing, tells me that we're booted off of the USB stick. By default, I didn't have to go into the BIOS at all. I already know that's what's going on. And then from here on, I'm just going to install Windows. Machine check exception. Device ran into a problem and needs to restart. I might have misdiagnosed the system. It could be RAM. Let's see here. Okay, so this thing doesn't want to turn on. Stay on. Interesting. I wonder if he has a bad power problem. I might have jumped the gun. Oh, that's interesting. We got blue blinking power. That tells us something. Let's... Alrighty. I might have gotten too excited about a drive replacement. Could be a bad memory module, could be power supply, could be the motherboard. I should have been suspicious when this thing totally turned off. So, careful, case is real glass. Okay, so this thing, I don't want to lay it down, it's got all sorts of wiry stuff over there. Alright. Okay, so what do we think our issues are? Should we try to remove a memory module? Yeah, let's try that. You know what I'm trying to... Let's do this. Before we unplug anything, I want to see how long this thing stays running. That's interesting. It will not stay on. I don't know how old this drive is, or this motherboard is, but it's got DVI and VGA. That tells me it's several years old. Okay, so at this point it should not turn off, even with any other normal errors. If any sort of configuration issue should arise, it should not be turning the machine off. Okay, it looks like it's about to crash because the Windows bootloader is in a stuck position. The little circular logo. Unacceptable, uncorrectable error. Give your support person... Okay. Okay, what can we try here? It is not necessarily the drive. So what we need to figure out is which one of these hardware devices is our problem. Okay. Let's, you know what? I think it would be easiest to diagnose the power supply. I have one of those laying around. Let's just see. Okay. Let's see what's going on. You got a good power supply here. Let's just do some troubleshooting. Let's unplug that power supply, and we'll unplug good. Unplug the motherboard from the original power supply, and then we'll unplug. All right. Okay, so all we need to do is plug in the new power supply, or my test bench power supply, into the motherboard. And then let's try power for the CPU on the motherboard. This particular, there. Oh, who's texting me while I'm busy? Oh, that's right. This clip is on the side. There. Okay, so I'm not even going to plug in any drives. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug in the power. Just about C. There. There. Okay. Now let's just for giggles see if it turns on now. Although I'm going to pretend I got something to boot off of. The drive is not plugged in. Let's see what happens. Okay, we're using... Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. We got different results. You know what? I think I'm diagnosing this as a bad motherboard or maybe a possible CPU issue. All right, let's figure out who texted us. Ah, scammer texts. Okay, so that's really interesting. Oh, you know what I did wrong? I didn't plug his video card in. We're unplugged, good. I got excited. Let's see if okay, let's see if after plugging the video card in, it gives us better behavior. Chris, it's not going to plug in upside down, you goofball. Put the clips right side up. Okay, we're not using everything here. Okay, now let's try it. Maybe that was our problem. Okay, so we're doing a swap of the power supply. Let's try this again. Maybe the video card just didn't have enough power. Oh, no. Okay, so now it's pulsating. It only comes on for a few seconds. So that's actually different behavior than the power supply. And I know my test bench power supply is good, so that tells me either his CPU is bad or his motherboard is bad. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so let's try this. Unplug the power supply. Alright, let's see. Unplug the power supply. Give it a second for it to drain itself. Let's just see if it's a RAM module that gives us any... let's just see if it behaves any differently with a RAM module removed. Let's see. Okay, let's turn this on now. Oh, that's interesting. I just pulled a memory module out. And with my... Good, okay, so... CPU or memory change. Please enter to configure your system. F1 to run. F1. You know what? Let's use this keyboard over here so I don't have to run everywhere. So now, you know, when it comes down to those error messages, it's always a memory issue. It's not always a hard drive. In this case, I might have been wrong in the beginning and getting too excited. So let's go ahead and F2 to run defaults. Okay, good. So it's got the new drive installed. What I'm going to do at this point, because I might have incorrectly diagnosed the SSD as wrong or bad, write out PCH. That's why we can never know when the sirens are going to go. Okay, this time It's not firing down. We do have my power supply. So, RAM module might be our issue. And before I get too excited, I'm going to start over. I'm going to, let's see if it doesn't turn off in the next 20 or 30 seconds. Okay. Crash. Uncorrectable error. But at least now it's not turning off. That's interesting. We're using my power supply. Okay, and now it shuts down. There's a chance it could be the other motherboard, the other memory module. So let's go ahead and, for giggles, try the other one. I unplugged it, right? Yes, okay, cool. Let's turn it on. I'm gonna have to come up with a better way to plug this in here, rather than try to finagle it blindly. Okay, let's turn this on and see how it behaves. There's our power button. It turns on. See how long it takes to see the screen. Okay, this time we have no display. That's interesting. Well, yeah, I think his motherboard is bad because we're getting variable results. Still no display. Well, that tells me something. Yeah, so this time I put the memory back in, and it just does not want to give us a display. So, I'm going to try the same module on a different module, on a different bank, I mean. Okay, so let's go ahead and try that. Problem is I don't have his CPU to test. It could generally be a CPU, but a CPU failure is fairly rare. The best I think at this point, I'm ready to call it a motherboard problem. Okay. Yeah, now it's doing the same thing as it did. I can't show you up close because I don't have a... I need to order another camera. So the fan just does this, stops, spins again, stops, perpetually. And stops. Okay. I don't think the video card could cause this issue, but I'm going to go ahead and pull it and then plug in the VGA. Okay. It could potentially, let's do this. Everything's unplugged. All right. So here's the problem. Video card's an older card, but it is a bigger card. It's a power hog. At this point, I'm almost ready to call this a bad motherboard. I'm going to just get this out of the way here. I'm going to temporarily unplug my power supply. These thumb screws are tiny, or they're difficult to get a grown man's hands around. Let's see. Okay, unplug that HDMI. This motherboard does not have onboard HDMI. I'm going to have to refer to VGA. Those thumb screws are kind of useless. They're not really thumb screws if you can't get your hands around them. All right. Good. Almost there. All right. Well, here's a lesson learned hard. You got to make sure you don't get too excited about recognizing a failure. So I am just double checking everything's unplugged. I'm about to pull this video card. Man, yeah, this is definitely not just a 1 or 2 year old video machine. Pull this out so I don't snap the USB card out. Okay. Good. Okay, so this is his video card. We're gonna put this in a safe place. And now, let's be minimalists. Let's see if we can get this thing going on onboard graphics only. So one of the things I'm going to have to do is steal this VGA cable from another monitor. There. VGA is like one of those technologies that refuses to die. I guess DVI also. Okay, so now that that's VGA is plugged in, now let's plug it straight into the onboard, and then okay, good. And our power supply is in the on position. We have one memory module on. Okay, let's see how this behaves. Oh, I gotta plug in the motherboard cable. Let's do that. Actually, let's move this over a bit. Video card was kind of pinned until I unplugged the motherboard cable for the power supply. So I forgot to re-plug it in. Okay, there. That's in. Okay, let's see if we can get this to go. You know what? I really don't like that power supply. Let's use this one. Good. I'm in the cable. Okay, let's turn this on. How do things look like for you guys? Good. Okay, let's turn this on. Okay, it turns on. Good, we got VGA. Okay, this is without the, what is this? This is an MSI. It's not labeled, it just says limited edition. Current running mode, Escape. Oh, does he have Linux on this thing? Is that bash I'm staring at? Let's see. Yeah, he's got a shell script that the screen just came up on. Wait a minute. Did I plug? Well, that's just nasty. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and put a copy of Windows back. Let's see. What do I want to do about this? Let's see if it crashes on a boot Windows. Let's try this. Okay. Okay, we got a bare bones setup. Onboard graphics. I'm going to see if I can. Okay, good. We're back to the Windows bootloader. So the question is, does it fail? At this point, in about 5 or 10 seconds, it's going to turn off. Hey, it's doing something different. Looks like he's got a copy of Windows on this new drive that he swapped. And device, okay. If you call your support person, give them a particular stop code error. Okay, so let's try this. Let's unplug this drive. Plug in the original drive. Okay, so what he didn't tell me is that he's got something on here. He's got Windows. So I'm going to plug in his stock drive and see how this performs. So we need to start from ground level. Since I got kind of jumpy and got excited about what looked like hard drive failure. Oh, he's got a bad SATA cable. He's got a broken cable. Or it's a SATA power cable, I should say. Oh, that could have short-circuited something too. Okay, so now, let's see what happens. I keep forgetting to plug it back in, which is fine, because it's better to forget to plug something in than to forget to unplug it. Okay, let's turn it on. It's on. I've got the original drive plugged in. We got one memory module. We got a copy of Windows 10. So technically it's either his motherboard, it's not his power supply because we're using mine, or his CPU, which is a very rare failure, but still possible. In which case, this is an older machine. I'm going to tell him to get a combo CPU and motherboard. Okay, so it is trying to boot right now. What you're seeing on the screen is a driver glitch. It's got a very rudimentary driver rendering the screen. Okay, so I'm guessing it's going to crash right about now. Yeah. You know what? Let's try this. I didn't even look in his BIOS. There's a chance. No, there's no chance. Okay. I did actually unplug the SATA cable for the 3.5-inch mechanical drive. So at this point, we're getting duplicate results on this and his internal SSD. I want to try one more time. So I'm going to plug in his SATA cable for both data and power. I promise, as my budget improves, I will get more cameras and show you exactly what's up. Okay, so that's plugged. And I know my test bench power supply is good, so that is not the problem. So now I'm going to try to turn it on. So at this point, I'm going to pretend I was right to begin with and act as though I'm installing Windows on his handheld drive. It's behaving what looks like the same behavior with the original drive as the replacement drive. I've pulled out his expanded MSI video card. Does not fix the issue. I've swapped out 2 RAM modules. Does not fix the issue. I have swapped out his power supply with mine, and it's all behaving the same. So at this point, it predictably crashes. So now I have a fairly good gist of what's going on. His motherboard or CPU is bad. And at this point, after 5 or 6 years of use, you don't go replacing a CPU because you're not going to be able to buy one that's that old. Okay, we keep getting different uncorrectable error. WHEA. Okay, so at this point I'm going to call the customer. I'm pretty confident I was wrong to begin with. It is not his SSD. It is his motherboard. Okay, so let's call Dustin.
Hello?
Hi Dustin, it's Chris.
Hi.
Okay, well I got some bad news. It looks like your motherboard is actually what's wrong.
Oh, okay.
So are you down the street? You want to just come over?
Yeah, I can come back.
Okay, yeah, because I got it torn down. I pretty much did some more troubleshooting, and it's behaving predictably. I went down to the bare bones, so the only thing that could be left is either your CPU is bad or your motherboard is bad, in which case it's time to move on after this number of years. So come on over and we'll talk about it in person.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm here. Bye. So there you go. A day in the life of me, South Bay Tech Gurus, diagnosing computer issues. All right. So we are live. Give me a call, 855-434-8787. Show up in the YouTube chat. Say hi there. That's pretty much it. Let's see if, yeah, I don't really have anything. I keep getting all sorts of spam texts. I do not know. Yeah, the last 2 texts are spams. Anyway, so there you go. Diagnosing. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I get kind of jumpy about diagnosing certain issues. But obviously, I'm not going to charge a customer unless I get more confident about it. And unfortunately, I had to poke and prod at this particular issue a little bit harder than normal. But yeah, the fact that it's a several-year-old motherboard tells me a lot. And I tell people, regardless of what they spend, regardless of the hardware they buy, don't expect more than 5 or 6 years of service out of it. The advantage of building yourself a computer versus buying one that's OEM, like a Dell or an HP, is that you can get up to like this power supply has a 5-year warranty. You're not going to get a 5-year warranty from Dell or HP unless you pay for it. In which case, you're going to spend $500 or $600 for that warranty. So build yourself a computer from the ground up. You're going to get better, higher quality parts, and you're going to give yourself an education and know what's under the hood. So I think it's going to take him at least 5 or 10 more minutes. I don't have anything else to speak of at the moment, so I may or may not be back one more time before I take off today. Great, I try to get off the air, and now, are you kidding me? I can't get up, I'm stuck online. Are you freaking kidding me? No, that's definitely the mouse that should be manipulating. Let's see. How lovely. Oh, did I accidentally unplug the keyboard and mouse? Lovely. Oh yeah, it's got no power. Ah, lovely. Okay. Aha. Chris, you're a goofball. Well, that's what happened. Gee golly, Chris. I can't even take myself off the air. All right. Oh, I've been moving stuff around. I probably unplugged my USB hub. Well, that's funny. I accidentally unplugged my keyboard. Let's see here. Now I can't take myself off the air. What a professional, huh? Yeah. Gee golly, what a professional. Sweet. So what I need to do... That's it right there. A big honking USB cable. Alright, let's see. Let's see. Well, screw it. You're gonna do that to me. There we go. Now I got a working mouse. Have a nice day, everyone.